Constellations. Go outside one night and look at the stars. Of the billions of stars in our galaxy, it is possible to see only 2,000 with the naked eye. When you first look at them, you might not see much. They might look like just a bunch of tiny dots. Look a little closer. You will see that some stars shine more brightly than others. Focus on the bright stars. Which ones really jump out at you? Then focus on the spaces in between the bright stars. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I drew lines from one bright star to the next? What would it look like if I were to connect the dots? Would I see any shapes? Would I see any patterns? Since ancient times, people have been studying the stars. When ancient people looked at the stars, some seemed to be closer together and formed patterns. On a clear night away from city lights, you can see the stars that fill the night sky. One of the first people to describe these star patterns called constellations was a man named Ptolemy. He picked out the brightest stars and traced lines from one star to the next. He saw all types of shapes and patterns. One looked like a bull. He saw another that looked like a crab. A third looked like a bear. In all, he found 48 constellations. Much later, 40 more constellations were added to Ptolemy's list. Today, astronomers say there are 88 constellations that can be seen in the night sky. On the next page is a drawing of a constellation that Ptolemy described. It is called Ursa Major, or Big Bear. The white dots, or circles, stand for the stars in the constellation. The dotted lines connect the stars and trace the pattern so you can see the shape. Do you see a big bear in the pattern? It does not look exactly like a real bear, so you may need to imagine that it looks like a bear. Hint: its head is to the left, with its nose being the star that is on the far left. Ursa Major. Within Ursa Major, there are 7 very bright stars that form another small group of stars called the Big Dipper. Look at the image at the top of the next page. Can you see why it is called the Big Dipper? When you trace a line from star to star, the shape looks like a dipper. A dipper is like a ladle you can use to scoop something into a bowl. The stars on the left look like the handle. The stars on the right look like the scoop. Ptolemy also described another constellation called Ursa Minor, or Little Bear. This constellation is also made up of 7 stars. In the image on the bottom of the next page, the 7 dots stand for the stars. An artist has added a drawing of a bear to help you better imagine how the star pattern looks like a bear. The Big Dipper. Ursa Minor. Ursa Minor is also called the Little Dipper. The brightest star at the end of the handle is called Polaris. Can you see it? Polaris stays in the same place in the night sky all year long. Other stars are found in different places in the sky at different times of the year. Polaris's place in the sky is almost directly over the North Pole of Earth. By finding Polaris, also called the North Star, you can find the direction north and the other directions. In ancient times, sailors and explorers used this star to find their way when they traveled. Try to find Polaris the next time you look at the night sky. Start by first looking for the Big Dipper because it is easier to find. Then find the two pointer stars at the edge of the Big Dipper's scoop. Then pretend there is a long arrow pointing the same way as the pointer stars. The first star you will see at the end of the arrow is Polaris. The pointer stars of the Big Dipper pointing to Polaris, the North Star. In the picture from the top, we have labeled Polaris, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major.